Welcome back to You're Done,
the podcast for the girls, gays, and theys, hosted by me, Brendan.
and me, Tasha. And on our podcast, we talk about whatever we want. So strap in or strap on, because today we're talking about Wicked for Good.
Yeah, I'm part of it.
Wait a clock tick.
There's someone here we're obsessulated with who's joined us. Our VIP, Eddie.
Hello, and I just couldn't be happier.
Yes, couldn't be happier.
Gosh,
I'm so excited for this episode.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I am a huge Wicked fan.
Huge.
And I waited
fan.
patiently on this seat for a year. Yes, I actually stayed right here.
Yeah.
I never moved, actually. I lived right on this couch in preparation for part 2, Wicked for Good to come.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen the movie or the musical, probably pause and get back to that.
Yeah. Spoilers
Spoilers.
throughout the entire
But
thing.
it's 20 years old.
Yeah.
And we've also already done part 1 in our last season. So you should watch that and then come back and continue with this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But if you've seen the movie and you're up to date, welcome, because we're going to get right into it.
Dive right in.
So we're talking for Wicked for Good, also known as Wicked Part 2. And
Also known as Act 2.
Act 2, yes. And so a quick context recap. So we just saw Wicked, which was in 2024, and it left us off with Defying Gravity. Elphaba flies off into the west, right?
Through the west.
Into the west. And we move on, and we now cut to 2 years later.
They don't really
They don't
define
really
it
say
as
how long it is. It
years.
seems like it's not that long later.
Doesn't seem that long, but then also it's funny because something that like I noticed in the movie and then I saw afterwards, like so Elva had like glasses
Yeah.
in the first part because it's very studious, you know. She
Right.
didn't wear no glasses no more. So I'm
It's
thinking
that
like
Grimmery.
it's the Grimmery, right? But then also like her makeup gets a little bit more like older as
Darker,
well. So it
yeah.
makes me think that like time has.
And then also Nessa Rose becomes the governor. So I feel like,
There's
I'm like,
time- like the-
something is
Yeah, like
some
their
kind of
father
ceremony.
dies, she becomes like you can't just become
Yeah.
the governor right out of like shiz.
So the
Time
Wicked
has
part,
passed.
Wicked for Good starts with Madame Morble saying it's been 12 turns of the tide, whatever that means. So that could be, I've seen somewhere it's written it was like 2 years. Some people say it was 1 year because it's like 1 month. Who knows? But anyways, it's been some time. And
been a clock
so
tick.
we jump into the second act of the musical and the continuation of the movie. And so, as you guys have both sort of mentioned, lots has changed. There's sort of a fallout of people's choices. There's political intrigue. We have moral conflicts happening. And then
Good
this really
description.
focuses
Moral
on
conflicts.
the evolution of friendship and identity.
Yes. Can I tell you right when at the beginning? So obviously, like I think about myself a lot,
Right.
and
No way.
yeah. And as it was starting, the woman, like the construction worker, like that's like basically like making
Oh,
the,
right.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the
The
horns,
police officer
like
person.
yeah, the police
Yeah,
officer
Building the
person.
Yellow Brick
I was
Road.
like, you are starting the movie. Like, how fabulous is that for you?
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I was casting? I don't need to be Elphaba, but if I'm the first face
Yeah.
in the movie, that's the first thing I thought about when the show started.
The face of capitalism.
The
Yeah.
first thing I thought about was like, "Wait, that could have been me.
So I saw something. Obviously, I watched a bunch of stuff about this so that I
Mhm.
could get prepped for it. And someone did a really interesting, you know, the guy that ends up running through the tulip field after Elphaba attacks?
Yes.
Right.
He has the same like mustache and face and facial hair as the original door opener in the first movie. Like in the actual Wizard of Oz, there's a guy who's like trying to let them into.
Oh, you mean the
Emerald
Wizard of
City.
Oz?
Yeah.
Not the first movie like
No,
last year.
like the Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
And he's like the door opener and he looks the same. And so they've like sort of like connected this
Oh.
person's like look to it, which is kind of cool.
Oh, because of Wicked, like I actually don't enjoy watching The Wizard of Oz much anymore because I'm
Mm.
like, Dorothy, ya bitch. She just wants her sister's shoes
Yeah, like,
back.
you stole someone's shoes.
Yeah.
Like it's like you know what I mean? Like so that's why it's hard for me to like go back.
Yeah.
But I
get
do want to
that.
see that like
Yeah,
reference though.
I'll get it for you.
Okay.
Okay, so for today's episode, we're going to go through all sorts of stuff. We have some interesting facts and behind the scenes. We have some opinions-based stuff. We have some hot topics about it. And then we'll end with some Easter eggs and references.
Hmm.
But before we get into that, what was your, don't give me the everything, but what was your initial feeling after having seen the movie?
Okay. My initial feeling was unwell. Yeah.
She was green.
I was sad it was done. I also, obviously, I knew what was coming. I felt like every interview that like we've watched throughout this, I'm like, it's done, right? And so I was like really happy with that. I know that like the second half of the musical is way shorter. So for them to have made this, they had to add a lot of things.
Right. Yeah.
Like the musical itself, the second half is like just about an hour, if not less.
And how long is the first half of the musical?
Way longer, like 2 hours or so, right? And there's like way more musical like soundtracks and stuff like in the first part. So I thought they did a really good job with that. I thought that like the acting was chef's kiss. Like everyone was. Bach said, "I'm coming for my paycheck."
No, Bach really said.
Bach said, "I'm coming for my." I was scared.
SpongeBob.
I was scared. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that, and I feel like the relationships between the two of them, it just made me feel like they both got what they wanted, but in sacrifice of each other, and that just made me like unwell.
Yeah.
It really made me be like, you really can't have everything. And then like they completely switched because like technically like obviously Elphaba was never wicked, but now does Glinda have to like sell into her wickedness a bit to be able to have this?
Yeah.
So like I just sat there for a while and I was like, and obviously like there's more, like I said, from musical numbers in the first half, but like I would say my favorite song is No Good Deed.
That's it was a really good
and
one.
it had me like twitching. So I really, really enjoyed it. I need another 3 watches.
Okay.
Because I feel like I wasn't looking for specific things because I wanted to like stay focused on like the theme.
Well, stay tuned because I have a bunch of stuff for you
but like that's the thing is I want to hear these and I want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Because when I watched the first one, I saw it 4 times or 5 times in theaters.
5 times in theaters is crazy. That is a lot of time.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, for me, I liked the second one for sure. I think I liked the overarching story of friendship. I think that was amazing. I don't know if I really liked the pacing of the second one. I thought it was a bit confusing. They were going back and forth really quickly. And from a song perspective, my favorite songs, plural, are still in the first act. But I really still did love it. They acted really well. And I really loved the story between Ariane Tur. It was so good. I was like, wow, you guys, I'm literally going to cry.
Yeah. I think to the point of the pacing is because they had to do so many different things to make it a full movie.
Yeah, that's fair. I think to add to that, I liked it. I liked that it was a darker tone, but I also think like it expects you to know the story of Wizard of Oz like very well because it almost felt like a montage of scenes throughout like a very like sort of spread out history because it was like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and there's no. If you don't know the story of Wizard of Oz super well, which I do, but like I could see from the perspective of someone who didn't, it's a bit like, wait, what happened? And how did that happen?
Yeah, but I think to that whole point is that Wicked is based off of Wizard of Oz. So it's kind of like if you show up to the movie not having that, then you've decided to not come prepared.
Yeah, I guess but to your point, because I didn't realize that the second half was actually shorter, I felt like the movie had the opportunity to connect it better, like to do a better job of that. For the viewer who maybe like hasn't actually watched Wicked Part 1 recently and hasn't watched Wizard of Oz, you can do a little bit of that. Though I have some stuff that it actually might be because there's a lot of copyright things around the Wizard of Oz that prevent them from doing much.
I guess I'm like, I do get what you're saying, but I guess as such a big fan, the movie is made for the fans. It's not made for new people, right? In my opinion, because like the movie came out in 1939. The musical came out 20 years ago, and now the movie's coming out now, right? So there's been fans
for that.
There's been fans who have like been in this for a very long time. Of course, we want it to bring in new audience members, but like those, I saw Wicked in like the actual theaters when I was in high school, right? So like I've waited enough time. So I feel like it wasn't in my opinion, it wasn't to bring new people to Wicked. It was to like celebrate those who've been around Wicked for so long. Is my
I hear what you're saying, but it's also $1 billion.
Yeah, but the money will be made anyways. The money will be made anyways, but like it's like a celebration of what's already been out for years.
An interesting thing I heard was that John Chu actually didn't revisit the second part until January, until after the first movie was out, and then he re-edited the second one.
Oh, based on like the
because they were filmed literally at the exact same time, not like back to back. Like I saw one clip that was like it was the wedding. It was Popular, and then the next scene for Ariana was the wedding scene.
Oh wow.
So like quite literally at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting right into it, so we can move on to some interesting facts and behind the scenes things. So this is a thing that sort of everyone kind of already knows, but originally it was titled Wicked Part 2.
Yes.
And then it was changed to Wicked for Good to reference the second song.
Right.
And that was sort of to just like signal that the film was leaning more into the soul of the story and less about it being a sequel, which I think is to your point about, you know, being a fan of the musical and sort of not saying like, oh, it's, you know, two separate movies. They're actually just one continuation of something, which was neat. And then, so you talked about this, but like, there's a lot of color theory in the movie, which is really cool.
Yes, very much so.
So like, people often describe the musical as Act 1 and Act 2 is Act 1 is Elphaba's story and Act 2 is Glinda's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so the title screen of Wicked Part 1, it has the title and then it's like a green like natural land, and then Wicked for Good is like pink tulips for Glinda.
Oh,
so they like sort of like lean into all of that.
Well, to that point, do you see like, okay, you might have not noticed this thing, but in the posters for both movies, at the first movie, like when they're reaching out their hands, it's very close. And in the second one, it's much further. Right? Look that up. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's like showcasing that like you can try to stay close, but light will come in the way, right?
Yeah, like
and
that.
so it's like they're further apart.
Yeah.
And like the first movie has a lot of brightness.
Yeah.
It's a lot, very cheery.
Yeah.
Right? So is the first part of the musical, right? And then the second half gets really dark.
It does.
Right?
Yeah.
Like visually, conceptually, emotionally.
Yeah.
It does.
It gets really dark. Yeah. And so I really enjoyed that color theory blocking thing.
Yeah. And so there's more. There's like, you already sort of mentioned it, that like Cynthia Erivo's like makeup gets darker. They add the witch's warts to her face, like the
I didn't notice
classic
that.
ones.
Yeah. She has more of her freckles.
Yeah. And then there's sort of the story of Glinda as her like, from the sort of beginning of Part 2 to the end, her clothing gets brighter and more pink as she gets closer back to who she really is.
I don't think I noticed
So
that.
I
don't think I noticed that.
When she first comes down in the bubble in Part 2, like when the first time she actually uses the bubble thing, she's in quite a like blue and almost like gray dress. And then by the end, it's like bright bubblegum pink. And like her clothing gets...
This is why I need another watch.
Right. Like, I
right?
didn't notice that at
If you
all.
watch it, her clothing continues to get more and more pink, and it really changes when she sings her new song, Girl in a Bubble, and she looks into her house, which is pretty dark, and then her one room that's super bright pink.
Super bright pink.
And
yeah,
it's about
I recognize that. Yeah,
Mm.
I did see that. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So there's lots of cool
I also
color.
love when she went into the hood at the end, because that, if you remember in the first film, at the beginning, because obviously it's backwards. Like the first film starts
it's
with the
very
ending,
end.
right?
Yeah,
And you see right when the film is starting, there's like someone on a horse that is like like galloping away,
Yes, I remember
and
that.
you think it's Elphaba because it's in all black.
Right.
But then when you see it's actually Glinda who had the cloak on, going to go see her. And I was like, ugh.
I love that scene. I thought that
Yeah.
was really beautiful, actually. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that she's kind of there and it's happening, and like no one knows that it's happening. I think that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Ooh, yeah.
Another fun fact about it is that, so I saw this interview with Jonathan Bailey, who, by the way, special mention to People's Sexiest Man of the Year.
I concur.
And shout out to a friend of the pod, Adam, for getting this for me.
I love it. The only part of it that like had me, because he had me convinced. Okay, like I love that we have two queer like
everyone in that movie is gay.
Everyone is gay. My literal knees were like during As Long As You're Mine. The only thing that had me upset with him, just the only thing, during As Long As You're Mine, which is a beautiful song, as they like levitate into a bed, right, is that his eyes were very large in a certain moment. He's like, kiss me too fiercely. Right?
I didn't even clock that.
It was very open. Okay. But then I think maybe like Cynthia gave him a look and he was like, hold me too tight.
Yeah. Calm down.
Calm your eyes.
Okay, so I have a fact, but I'll go to this next one I have, which, because you referenced it, which is As Long As You're Mine. Actually, Stephen Schwartz composed that melody in 1970, and it had intended it to be the main song of the movie.
Really?
Until there was reworked, and so then the beats of it they open it in the musical. And that it starts with the first notes of No One Warns the Wicked. He weaved them together.
Wow. He did that a lot. He did that with Follow the Yellow Brick Road and different things, and Over the Rainbow. It's in songs.
Yeah. But the interview that I watched was Jonathan Bailey and Ariana Grande were talking about funny moments on set. Right. And so in the wedding scene where she's walking down and she has that massive train.
Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful, honestly.
Beautiful.
So beautiful.
Gorge.
One is that John Chu actually had it reference Crazy Rich Asians.
I was just about to say, because I watched Crazy Rich Asians the day before I watched
Wait, which
for the
part
19th time. The wedding scene.
The wedding scene with the water? And
Yeah.
Oh,
because the train was beautiful. And I thought the same thing, because obviously he directed both. I was like, this is giving Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, yeah.
So there, you know how she's walking and the water comes?
Yeah.
So in Wicked, when she's walking the train, all the yellow flowers that are moving out of the way from her are basically
Yeah, and how everyone was holding the butterflies in Crazy Rich Asians. I thought I was in that. I was sitting there. I turned to Olivia and I was like, oh my God, it's Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah. But I guess so when she's doing that, she actually had the train on and it's super heavy, and they had to redo the takes over and over and over again. And John Chu kept being like, again, keep your head up. And so the problem was, I saw this interview before watching the movie, but she says in the interview that she's basically duck necking herself, trying to hold her head. And Jonathan Bailey is literally laughing at the end because she looks so crazy. So when you rewatch it, look for her head, because she's literally
trying her best.
I feel like I noticed that. I was like, oh, okay, she's walking a bit strangely, but
it's heavy. That's
they are
one.
heavy.
I didn't want one.
I think you said you had something about the wedding you wanted to share.
Oh yes. So what's really sad? Oh wait, what was my riddle? What is something that is
something that is dead but never dies?
But dead but never dies. Yes. So during the filming of the wedding is when she was signing her divorce of her.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's what she was doing during that scene.
That's dark.
Isn't that crazy?
That's dark.
Because she was like, I gotta get to my man Bach,
the
SpongeBob. You see that clip when he's like, yeah, but that's crazy.
Yeah, that is really
so
crazy.
It's when you're crying, because obviously she was ready for that to be over, but any kind of relationship that ends, you're gonna feel it. And now you're filming a scene of a wedding that just got crashed by your best friend, and you're crying,
your man,
but then didn't she love you? But I think she took someone's wasn't he married with child?
Yeah.
So it's giving vortex,
vortex,
in the vortex.
Accurate.
Yeah, and just seeing her cry at that was just really hard to watch her. Yeah. I'm like, you've gone through so much, girl.
I think one of her best acting moments, and I love little moments when she's crying, because obviously my man is gone, the wedding is done, and they're trying to figure out how to get to Elphaba, and she pauses and she's like, her sister.
Oh.
She's like, if you want to find her, go to her sister. Yeah. I was like, ooh, I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt that.
Because it was kind of her slipping into darkness for just a moment.
Yeah, for a moment she went in. And her voice cracked in it. She was like,
yeah,
ooh.
Real mad.
That was one of her best acting moments of the film.
I agree.
Yeah.
So some of the other fun facts, these are the last ones before we get into some opinions-based discussion topics, is so some of the things that made it difficult to to make the movie is that MGM owns the rights to so many elements of The Wizard of Oz.
The ruby slippers.
So yeah, you can't even show a hint of the ruby slippers in reference to Dorothy. So
I thought they did it smart.
They did it, yeah.
Because in the musical as well, it's the silver.
Yeah,
and when
which is in the book,
which is in the book, and when Nessa Rose, because obviously she needs to have the ruby slippers on, because that's the whole thing. Making her fly and making it look it's fire was a smart way to do it.
Yeah,
very smart, very smart,
clever.
So they can't show Dorothy's face or voice or the exact blue gingham. So she was wearing blue gingham in the movie, but it's not the exact one that they have from Wizard of Oz, and they're not allowed to show that at all. Glinda's bubble dress, so from the original Wizard of Oz movie, that big dress that Bobby Burke wears. You can't show that at all.
Oh.
Okay.
You can't show the exact path or shape of the Yellow Brick Road. You know how in The Wizard of Oz it's a spiral?
Yeah.
They can't show that exact thing. So
but didn't they have it when she put the final brick down? It had a spiral.
That's the plaza. But like if you zoom out, you know how you can see, like, I don't know if you remember this, but it's like sort of a spiral. They could never show that. That's not allowed.
So interesting.
I didn't know that.
And the design of the flying monkeys, you can't have them the same. So they couldn't be wearing the same, like.
To that point, what had me dead, if you didn't notice, so in the first film, when she is like running through and the monkeys are taking her jacket.
Right.
And the second movie, there's a monkey that's wearing the jacket. I thought that was iconic.
That is really good.
I know there was a lot of, and this might bleed into your opinions questions, but because of the shoes, so a lot of people are like, why didn't they show the house on top of Nessa, like with her feet out?
Right.
Right. And one of the main reasons you can't show the shoes on her feet.
Right.
And so that's why they made the clip that when she's getting there, like Dorothy's already leaving.
Yeah.
Which I thought, like, you have to become creative when you're stuck when you can't show these things, right? Can't show Dorothy and you can't show the shoes. Right. Then you're just going to have, and her legs shrivel when the shoes come off.
Yeah.
Right? So it wouldn't make any sense.
She just vanishes.
Because if the legs were there, you'd be like, well, how did the legs stay there?
Well, and so that's the kind of stuff where it's like, if you know this, it makes sense. And like, it doesn't really take away from it in the movie, but it could seem a little bit.
I did see some notes about that, but I'm like, it makes complete sense why it's not there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now getting into like decisions and opinions and whatever. So the first one is, what do you think of the decision to split the movie into two films? Do you believe it was right to call for preserving depth, or do you worry about pacing, filler, and parts dragging?
I think it was smart to put it as two different movies. I thought the first movie by itself was absolutely fantastic, and I wouldn't want that to be cut at all whatsoever.
Right.
And so therefore I wouldn't necessarily want another like 30 minutes tacked onto the end of it, because it would just be probably too
fast.
long.
Yeah.
So I think splitting into two movies totally makes sense. I really do think that the second movie by itself really doesn't hold a candle to the first one. I think in combination, it's an amazing situation, but without the first movie, that really anchors it. Like it's the first movie.
Yeah, double feature would be really good for that.
I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. That like, and similarly, critics of Wicked, like from when it first came out in the musical, they didn't actually really like the musical. And so there was a lot of controversy. And then on top of that, a lot are say the second half is the problem. And so it kind of weaved into the movie.
Right.
The same thing that happened in the musical weaved into the movie. I agree. The first movie, like, spectacular from beginning to end, but like it wouldn't make sense to add the second half onto it as one movie. Obviously, from a financial perspective, great idea to make it as two.
Of course.
Right. But I still enjoyed going to both. I think that because the first one has a lot of spectacle and like ends in such a dramatic way, is why there's a lot more popularity to that one.
Right.
Whereas like the second one is just like, well, shit, right? It's just sad.
They're
like
in another world.
Yeah, it's just another world, right? So it's hard, but I do think they should have kept it as, or they did keep it, but that for two movies.
I agree. Okay. So thematically, For Good seems to dive deeper into morality, consequences, and identity, especially around Elphaba and Glinda. What kind of emotional or philosophical resonance did you hope that the film hit?
Start again.
One more time. One more time.
I had to sit up a little bit more for that one.
So when you think about like, so the second movie really focuses on like the morality of the choices that Glinda is making,
right?
The like consequences of Elphaba holding on to her morals and then being painted as the villain.
Right.
And then you have identity. Like Glinda is so connected to the idea of being magical and important and loved. Like if you think about like when she was a little girl, she got her wand and she did that thing, and then the rainbow happened, but it wasn't her.
Right.
And she was so much more connected to the idea of being magical and good that she didn't actually come out of the lie, which she then lives her whole life as doing. Right. And then Elphaba, sort of the opposite. She's so connected to, Dulcibert being important to her and her love of the animals and what is right, that she isn't able to work within the system that would hopefully be able to change what's happening.
Right.
So those two things, do you think that the movie did a good job of like painting that as a story? Like, do you think that resonates with people about what?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think especially giving Glinda a little bit more background, like the flashback she was having to when she was younger and she didn't have magic, but the impact that being even thought of as good has on people, and the fact that in and of itself is good, like, is that enough to mask the fact that you don't actually have magic? So I thought that her internal struggle was really, really shown. Same with Elphaba as well. Like, you know, she cares so much for these animals, and we see that through like the Cowardly Lion, right? Like she saved the Cowardly Lion in theory, but then it becomes cowardly because it didn't grow up.
It never understood his life.
Her morals were too. She was like, no, you need to be free, even though he doesn't want to be free.
So I think it really showed a couple different options and times of that. It was really good. It was really good.
I pulled up some points.
Come on.
Please.
Okay, so to your point just now, is that Elphaba really wanted such dramatic change, but with very little, like, she didn't have an idea of how to get there.
Right.
She's just like, we need to do this, and like we have to go against the wizard, which that scene when she put in like the wizard's lies and then Metamorable changes it. I said, oh, okay.
Oz dies.
Yeah, it was giving right. So hers was like so dramatic that she had to be completely alone, and still then like no one understood her. But then did she understand others either? Right. But then in No One Mourns the Wicked, when Glinda is singing these lines, when she's like, the goodness knows, because she's goodness. Yeah. Goodness knows that the wicked's lives are lonely. She's lonely. Right? Goodness knows that the wicked die alone. She will. Yeah. Right? And it just shows when you're wicked, you're left only on your own. Right? Because like she had to switch to that piece of being wicked to like fool everyone. However, my other point was, as we know, the Grimoire is able to be read by Elpha because
she's magical.
Because she's a part of two worlds, right? And at the end, so I don't know if this is maybe in your thing you might talk about later.
No, please go.
So in the States, they had more options for like popcorn and different things, right?
Yes.
So in the Grimoire, at the end, when Elphaba's now in exile with Fiyero, and Glinda has the book. She's like, why are you giving me this string for good? She's like, I can't read this. Right? People are wondering, did she transfer over her power? Right? But if you, in one of those popcorn books, it has the Grimoire when the two hands are there. And then you can find online the translation of the Grimoire. And it's basically saying by her sacrificing to continue to do good. And like seeing that she's actually being good and not just wanting to have like everyone look at her is why she was able to have the power to now be able to read the Grimoire.
Exactly. Yeah, the power, because basically they found out. So in the last scene, the Grimoire opens and there's like hands that are glowing. And then they find out that basically one of the things it says is you can only read this if you have magic. So it confirms that then
that she has magic because she let go of trying to be the most popular and now really trying to be, because when she's like, to the wizard, you have to leave. Like you're. I won't tell them about you, but
you have to go.
But you have to go. And realizing that now it's on her to be actually honest is where she was able, because she doesn't know that Elphaba is alive.
Exactly.
Because some people are wondering, maybe that last scene made her think
whisper,
that. Yeah, right. The whisper. But so I think that, to your question, shows like, did they evolve through that? Like that notion, yes, but unfortunately they had to do it in a way that requires them to not have what they truly wanted.
Yeah. So, because you brought up lyrics, there was something that I saw that was really interesting. Someone did a breakdown of the song For Good and was comparing like the lines of Glinda to the lines of Elphaba. And so they're talking about how Glinda's lines are all about objects that are pulled out of orbit, that are basically attracted by some kind of gravity. She talks about like a comet through the space pulled out of orbit by the sun, or a stream broken by a stone in the middle of the wood. Those are two things that are like the comet and the stream are being broken by something static. And then on the inverse, you have Elphabas, which are a static object that are being pushed by something, by an external force. So you have a ship that's pushed out of whatever. And then I forget what the second one is. Is that hers?
Mm-hmm.
Like a ship blown from its mooring. So it's moored. So it's supposed to be static. And a seed dropped by a skybird. So it's supposed to be like a seed is singular. And so that's about how their effects on each other are.
Wow, this is philosophical.
Isn't that really good?
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that really good?
But also, from a costume thing to what you just said, Ariana has you might have noticed the spiral. And that's the comet pulled from orbit earrings.
So
and then
good.
it has a skybird earring later.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They
went deep.
Win another Oscar for those costumes.
Oh yeah, he went for the costumes. You wouldn't even known that if you didn't look.
No, you didn't. That's why you have to watch it again.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Don't gotta twist my arm. Are we talking about songs? Are we going through?
We can get into songs now.
Because I do have things to say.
Because I have. So, if you were adapting it, would you would you keep the new songs? Did you like how the songs
thank you for asking me this.
Okay.
So, for the 2 new songs,
Can you recap for people who aren't familiar, if they've never seen it, which the 2 new songs are?
So we have Cynthia Erivo, also known as Alphaba, sings from Home.
No Place Like Home.
No Place Like Home. And then Ariana Grande, also known as Glinda, sings Girl in a Bubble.
Yeah.
During the movie, I didn't know if I needed it.
Okay.
I've now gone back and listened to it again. Because, for example, Girl in the Bubble, I think as a song, is beautiful. I think it's too long.
Okay.
But it helps from a story building perspective see her switch.
Right.
Because that's when right after she realized I can't let this happen anymore, and then she goes to see Alpha. Right. So I get that. And then from a song perspective for No Place Like Home, I actually really enjoyed that song because she can sing anything. But I just felt like there's 2 different songs in the same song. Right? But I guess...
Remind me, when did she sing that song again? Was
remember
it
when all the animals are about to leave to go into the exile area and trying to explain, we shouldn't leave. Because she could have left.
Oh, right.
She could have left a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
But she's like, we shouldn't leave. This is still our home. And so I understood the perspective and I liked the twist because No Place Like Home,
that's
Dorothy. And when you think of The Wiz, right? Home is the biggest song there, which is the black version of Wizard of Oz. So I was like, that was very creative. Very creative. I just felt like it was 2 songs. But when you listen back to them on the album, I'm like, yeah, I like these. But I don't know if I almost wish it was a add-on for the album. I don't know if I necessarily
in the
you
movie
could have told
itself.
me that story through dialogue.
Yeah.
Right.
An interesting thing of No Place Like Home is that she actually never gets to finish the song because the Cowardly Lion cuts her at the end. She's supposed to say home, the last home, and he cuts her off. And it's about... And it's interesting that also she's singing about a place that isn't really real for her. Her version of home, that's never been like that for you.
She's never had it.
Yeah.
She's never had it. She even talked about our father hated me. And even Nessa was like, what do you think? What do you think about that?
He liked you.
No, he hated you from the jump.
From the jump.
Yeah. So that was my 2 cents on the 2 songs.
Yeah.
I knew I was kind of worried about going in because I know every word of Wicked.
Yeah.
So I'm to add something.
Yeah, to change it.
Yeah.
But Stephen Schwartz did them. So
he did,
it was faithful.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I don't know. I because I didn't really know the songs in the second act that well, it kind of just all melted together. I was just like, okay, great. Is this part of it? Is this not part of it? So for me, it was fine having them there because, like I said, I didn't know the specific songs other than the 2 main songs at the end, right? Which is No Good Deed and then
For Good,
right? So other than those 2 songs, I was like, you could add anything.
You didn't know As Long As You're Mine?
No.
When she decided to take the man. She took her man.
Tasha, if you're watching, is actually weaving Alphaba's sex sweater.
Literally, that had me so happy. I was
funny.
The woodland creatures have come together and weaved you this thing. And then
when did you get that?
If you saw the under part, they showed it better in photos after. But it's the lingerie of basically rope.
Crochet.
Yeah, crochet lingerie. And when she levitated him to bed, I was like, all right, sure. They said first night, I'm going to steal you from this wedding. And then let's get it on in my treehouse. Let's get it on in my treehouse. Yeah, so that's a really popular song in the musical as well. I would say the 3 biggest songs are those 3.
Yeah.
But Wonderful, for example, Wonderful in the musical is only sung with Elphaba and the Wizard. So they added Glinda to that song.
Which I thought was actually really fun. I really liked that they were like, oh, this is what, if everything worked out, this is what it could be. We could all be happy and make it all be together.
Exactly.
So
because they almost changed her mind.
Yeah, exactly. It almost did.
And so it was smart to add her into the song.
Yeah,
totally.
So there's like creative choices like that I appreciated for sure.
What was your favorite song?
My favorite song was definitely the last one.
For Good?
For Good. Yeah, I just think that song is so beautiful.
It is so beautiful.
Especially the beginning part of the song. Like, I just think it's so powerful and so beautiful between two friends. And that storyline, I think, is just so amazing.
Especially when they say, like, because the whole, like, first movie, too, when they're, like, unlimited, like, and then it ends with, like, I'm limited.
Yeah. I thought that was really clever.
Because that's always in the musical. Like, I am limited. Like, there's things I can't do.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to do. But what they added that was so beautiful. It's like, look at me, not with your eyes, but with theirs. Ooh, child, as a girl of color, I was like
tearing.
Ooh, because that's not in the musical.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And when they added that, it's deep because you have to really think about that. She's your best friend. She sees you positively. She, even through this all, like, she'll come up and show up at your house during the wedding, all these things, because she's still your friend.
Yeah.
But no one sees her, like, other than Fiyero, no one sees her this way.
Yeah.
So don't look at me with your eyes. Think about how everyone else looks at me. I can't stay here.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was
even if I like concede and say, like, sure, you're all right, they'll all see me as this other because of how I look.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, and then when Fiyero says, we talked about this.
Oh yeah, when Fiyero is like, when they're about to make out, and he says, "You're beautiful," and she says, "You don't have to say that." And he says, "No, I'm just looking with." How does he say it? I'm just looking with different eyes or something. Like,
and then when she says that to him at the end,
like, I feel like there's like,
but
okay, like I get what you're trying to say here. Like, you think I'm beautiful regardless, but also, you look at me with the normal eyes. Like, I am. Like, I don't know. Wait a minute.
I think they added that so that when he changes, like, she can be like, "No, see, I see you the way that you see me."
And that wasn't CGI. No,
it wasn't.
Yeah, it was costume.
Yeah.
However, I do think they, like, beat up Bach's costume. Like, he looked great.
He looked amazing.
It did look a little Value Village comparison to that. But Bach looked like he acted the house down. And that one scene.
Truly, he had a minute to speak.
What was it? I'll be ruthless killing her.
Yeah.
And the way he said it and looked up at Ariana and was like,
I was like, there's some real emotions here, girl.
Yeah, you're next. You're next. But for me, favorite songs. So For Good has always been, it's a song that's like, when you think of Wicked, you think of Defying Gravity and you think of For Good, right? Because it is so iconic and it's beautifully sung and it's a great duet. For me, for No Good Deed, it's like, it's a trivial switch because that's when she actually is like, you know what? I will be wicked then.
Yeah.
Right? Because she's like, I will do anything to save you. And look at all the things that I've tried to do in the past. I tried to help the lion. I tried to help the animals. I tried to help Dr. Dillerman. I tried to do all these things and no one sees the value. Yeah. And the one thing I truly want to keep, I can't. Right. And so she's like, I promise no good deed I will ever do again.
Right.
Ever again. Right?
Yeah.
Like, and I had it. And like the whole scene got like very like hell-like.
Yes, yeah. The cape got way bigger. Like bigger. These monkeys are flying around.
Clouds of red. She's like, I don't care anymore. Then I'm wicked now.
I am wicked.
I'm wicked now. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
There's some good like foreshadowing in that scene with like, because the castle is so interesting and you have the monkeys flying in and out of trapdoors that are supposed to basically signal the trick that they'll do about her being so they're like showing you in the background that the monkeys are drifting in.
Watch, we're gonna go next time and be like,
I'm like, I didn't notice any of these things.
Got it. Caught it. Oh, that's great. What was your favorite song?
I really like No Good Deed. But For Good is the one that's been stuck in my head because
that's just so beautiful. Yeah. But like I loved her pissed.
Yeah.
I loved her pissed.
I just like it. I thought, generally speaking, the songs didn't have in the second part the same like oomph that the songs in the first one. I felt more of the songs in the first one really gave you like I also felt like from a singing perspective they could like show off their voices even more in the first half songs. In the second ones they felt a bit muted.
Yeah, I agree. Like like I said earlier, like my favorite songs are different from the first part. And again, it's also like some of the lyricism and some of the, you know what I think it is actually? I think for me personally, the songs in the first half are a lot more hopeful, generally speaking. And that's something that I like. So I'm like, I like that there's this like hope and this like, we're hoping for something better. And then toward the end, the songs are a lot more like, we've hoped and now we're here.
And now we're
here.
like,
it's actually not working. So
yeah. But like, for example, like, so both of them, but more Cynthia took a lot of vocal liberties to change up the songs. So if you've listened, you should listen to like No Good Deed regular. And then listen to hers. Like this girl is doing vocal gymnastics.
That's why I loved it. Like even when they did it in the previews, I was like, oh, I cannot wait to see the full version of that
like
song.
even through the whole both movies, like I like because you can't just do carbon copy.
Right.
No.
Right? Like there needs to be changes.
Yeah, you have to own it yourself.
Yeah, you have to own it yourself.
Version.
And like Cynthia's voice is a lot like more powerful than Ariana's, but Ariana has a very like delicate upper register, so it's really good together. They really did pair very well together.
I have a good thing for that.
Oh, I'm ready.
Finish it.
Go.
So another thing about the For Good that apparently was supposed to be really powerful in the song is that, to your point, normally Glinda always sings in her higher register, but to end For Good, she sings in the lower one.
All of it
and
is. Cynthia does the
switch.
And in that song, she always does the higher parts.
And that was about how they changed each other. It's like it's about the actual physical. You've made me higher. Isn't it good? I love all these things.
I love those things. I think that was also very like powerful. For example, also like there's a lot of people that have hater love for Les Mis the musical, the movie. I really liked it. Russell Crowe, you're garbage, and you could have been not in it. But the combination of the two is when you're singing live, right? It's not a recording that is like put on after,
right? Is
like way more powerful. And so the fact that they did this entire movie like singing it on set live. Like this, you're flying around and singing Defy Gravity. Like if you don't have the floor underneath you, it is very hard to be grounded in song, right? And so when you're doing all of that, like I respect it 20 times more.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're performing.
You're performing. You did the musical and it was filmed.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
So before we started filming, I was asking if you'd looked at who was credited in some of the singing.
Yeah, like at the end, my eyes couldn't actually see any of the things. I saw John M. Chu, and then I couldn't see anything else.
So I guess the current Glinda on Broadway and the current Elphaba, and then a couple of past Glindas and Elphabas are all credited because they helped sing parts of For Good. Like they were doing the background vocals.
I'm obsessed because my favorites are Megan Hilty and Idina Menzel.
Trying to find out if they were in it, but I wasn't able to find the full list. So maybe they were, but I know for sure the current Glinda was in it.
Well, I put in one of my notes because, and I think I said this on the last podcast about this, but in 20 years of Wicked being out, there was never a black Elphaba. There was an understudy.
Crazy.
But then in the West End in London, they did have. And there was an interview that was with Cynthia that asked, like, now that you've done this, would you do the musical? Right? And she took a moment and she's like, I don't think I would. And they're like, why? Because I think it was on The View. And she said, I think it would be selfish of me because I've opened a door that now people that look like me can be like this. And the current one is black.
Icon.
Right? That happened after the first movie.
Okay.
Right? And like, don't get me wrong, because all the people that played it have been fantastic. But it adds a different level of complexity when it's someone that's someone of color, because you're other, like, we all know you're painted green. Everyone's painted green, right? But like when you paint it off, it's still a color. And so like that was like really, really amazing for me to hear, because seeing it, all the times I've seen it, it's always been with someone that's white, right? And like now you see the movie, you're like, shit, There's many moments like when the Munchkins couldn't get on to the train, right? I was like, oh, segregation, right? Like it's just it adds so much more complexity from a political standpoint too, right? Let's just be changed for good, you know?
Changed for good.
Just change for good.
Okay, so I have like a funny meme that I'll tell you about that maybe you've seen at the end. But before we do that, and sort of like wrap it up, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to? Is there any element of the movie or song?
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah,
there is one part that it's always kind of confusing to me is why Nessa Rose is considered the Wicked Witch of the East, because she doesn't even have any witchery. Like,
no, so she just says that is because like if my sister is considered the Wicked Witch of the West, clearly now I must be evil because all I wanted was Bach, and look what I turned him into. And I made people believe that it was Elphaba that did it when it was actually her that started it. And so she's like, well, I might as well just be the Wicked Witch of the East.
I see. So she dons that on herself.
She dons it on herself.
Okay. Yeah. There is that. And then the other piece that was also quite interesting is, you know, at the beginning, which is the end of the movie, like the beginning of the first movie, which is the end where, you know, kind of Glinda flies in on the bubble and they're like, good news, whatever. They seem so surprised that like Glinda knows Elphaba. They're like, oh my God, you knew her? And I'm like, wait, wasn't the governor before Nessa Rose literally her dad? Like, don't you guys know? What's going on here?
They went to school together.
But that's what makes me think that like there's more than a year difference.
Yeah, it's
because like they're like, did you know each other? Like it looks like there's new Munchkins that are asking these questions.
Right.
Yeah. Like I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. You?
No, I wrote all this, so I got all my things out. I had lots of little like observations, but what do you have?
I think I said it all, but like again, it is my favorite musical, and I have many favorite musicals for different things.
Yeah,
like for example, Phantom of the Opera has the most beautiful like drapery of any like damn musical. It's so gorgeous. Lion King is the best like from a spectacle, but this one is just like it really resonates deeply with me.
Right.
And the songs are just so iconic, and so I really was worried when they first announced that they were going to make the movie. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was really nervous. Because I'm like, you shouldn't mess with greatness, right? Like, don't touch it. Why? It's so good, right? And so I was really, really skeptical. And I think that they took their time and they did a really good job from casting, from wardrobe, for like, even in the second movie, they add marketing. Yeah. They added a lot of like ad libs to songs because they needed to like draw it out. They did a really, really, really amazing job. And I think to have the pressure of the 20 years that it's been out to then make something is heavy, and like it came out so well. So someone get an Oscar, man.
I really
someone get an Oscar.
And I think it also added a lot of new fans to it, because I think a lot of people were just like, oh, it's a musical, maybe. But the movie adds something that people who wouldn't necessarily go see a musical by itself wanted to see this movie as well.
I hope I want to know like what the revenues look like for those who are seeing the musical now. Like I wonder how much it's upkicked in terms of amount of people seeing it.
Because something that I've heard, and I think this is more broadly about musical to movie adaptations, is just that you lose the intimacy of theater. Like when you're seeing it, even if you're in a big theater, you're close to the performer. And so those moments that feel small, like for example, when they're singing For Good and she pushes her into the closet.
We didn't even talk about the closet.
And she says, like the I love you thing it's not in the musical as I understand it. But like, if you're in a theater and you're like close, you feel the claustrophobia.
And they put that right there, the camera right there.
Yeah, and then they
improvised it. They didn't know what each other like were doing.
Oh, that's
good. Yeah.
And like,
imagine one walked away, the other one was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, and even like when Glinda is looking through the crack and she's seeing the shadows, like that in the musical, as I understand it, is like done behind a sheet. And so there's just like all these things that like, as a viewer,
they did their homework.
They
did their homework
to try to keep the things that make it like you're really seeing,
because they couldn't mess this up. It would be really bad.
Yeah, it would be.
It would have been really bad.
Could you imagine if this movie flopped?
It would have been really bad. That was my worry. But y'all did it. Y'all did it. Yay. Yes, great job. Great job.
So to end it, have you seen Michelle Yeoh's like new meme that she
have.
did?
That she like made her the contact lens fall out of Miranda's eyes.
No.
I will say I love her so much, but I actually wish that she. Oh, I did see that.
MM, Madame Marble.
I did.
But
see
upside down.
that. Wicked Witch.
Step it to the side. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
I do love her so much, and I actually really enjoyed her in the role. However, I do think that I wasn't 100% convinced with the casting for her.
Right. The singing wasn't
I just
there.
needed, like, this is a music. Like, there's many people that are on it right now, and I can't remember her name, but she's Black. I can't remember. She did her very best.
Oh, the one from Abbott Elementary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cheryl.
She started Sheryl Lee Ralph.
Thank
Sheryl
you.
Lee Ralph.
She would have been fantastic.
Yeah, she would have been.
Yeah, but she did she did her absolute best. But when she did the scene, when she did the scene, she was like, "Shut up." I was like,
"Oh." She said, "I don't care," and it's so interesting because she really seems to be almost like the mastermind in some.
Very much so.
Right?
She dropped the house on her.
Yeah, that was crazy.
There's an interesting when you watch it again thing about the way her hair is done over the second movie is that it gets crazier.
It was getting. I saw that.
Getting, like, more
it is
and more
getting twisted
related as she's like losing control.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah, which was neat.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
Easter egg.
So good. Easter egg. Well, this has been. What's a good
fantastically delicious.
Can you Google
deliciously?
We're obsessulated.
Obsessulated with the fantasticality.
Close enough. Yeah, it's very Dr. Seussical.
It's very Dr. Seuss. I can't even speak
now. Which is so fun. And apparently Universal says they owe it to the fans to continue the universe. So there likely will be more movies.
I actually don't need that.
Well, you're too late, girl.
The Lion. We'll see.
Who didn't speak at all in this one, but speaks in the musical.
He did speak.
He had like 2 lines.
Did he speak?
Yeah, Coleman Domingo does his voice.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's because everyone in this movie is gay. You're gay.
Everyone is gay. You're all gay.
Yeah.
Well, I was changed for good from the movie and from the musical and from knowing both of you.
Me too. Thank you. Eddie, thanks so much for being on this.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
I hope you had fun.
Sure did.
And we'll all go see the double feeture of the movies together.
We absolutely will.
Cannot
and you'll be able to see all the things I just told you.
See?
I'll be looking out.
You'll have forgotten. It's okay.
It'll be forgotten.
But I'll have been changed for good no matter what.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, as always, stay tuned. Make sure to like, subscribe, and cast a spell on us so that we can.
A nice spell, please, and thank you.
Namakane.
And with that, goodbye. Bye.
Bye.